Namaste. We'll begin. Namas Sundaranadhaya Tasmai Halasya Vasine Chatushshti Vidhalila Yenakari Bhuvasthale Srimad Sundaranathasya Devim Shaparalochanam Kalaye Hridaye Nityam Kadamba Vanavasinim Putam Swataf Putataram Tatoyat Gangam Payesh Shankara Mauli Sangat Tatpatu Matuf Pranaya Paradha Padahate Putatam Tato Naha. We saw till the 46th shloka where Indra enters the forest where Sundareshwara Lingam is present, and he just gets down from his Airavatam and takes on that Namra Bhavaha, because it is very important to be in that frame of mind to go anywhere, to enter a temple, which is a place where your mind should be very focused on the Swami there and not on anything else, So if he had been on his Airavatam, he would have been at a different position, and all the others would have been going in by walk or whatever, he would know the difference between the other people and himself, and that would be very conscious in his mind. But at that point, he had to be in the frame of mind to remove his papam, right? Usually, if you have read this Subramanya Bhujangam, the first shloka there is Sadabala Rupapi Vignadri Hantri Mahadanti Vaktrapi Panchasya Manya. It is a shlokam on Ganesha, right? It is the Bhagavad-pada has titled it as Subramanya Bhujangam, but the first shloka he writes is Ganadhipati. He talks about Ganesha in the first shloka and not start off with the Subramanya. In every other stotram, if you see, this paddhati is not followed. He always, if it is Devi Stuti, then he starts off with Devi Stuti. If it is Shivananda Lahari, he starts off with Shiva and Shakti, where Shiva is also there. But there is no paddhati that he starts off with Ganesha Stotram. But in Subramanya Bhujangam, he starts that. One thing is, in Tiruchendur temple, you first see Pullayar and then go inside, right? That is there in most of the temples also. But why should you do that particularly for Subramanya? The idea is, Subramanya is a Deva Senadhipati. He is a person who demands that discipline in your mind. So for a person like, to please Subramanya, your mind should first get itself organized. In order to get it organized, you need the Ganadhipati in your mind. So first, Ganesha has to come in your mind to make your disorganized mind into an organized fashion, into a disciplined fashion for you to enter into worship of Subramanya. Because he is a Tamil gadubadi aalummo. He demands that discipline of mind, and so your attitude should also be like that. The same way, when Indra also, he gets down, he reaches the border of Kadambavana, Sakaladbhuta dhamni simni tasyam, sahasaiva ayam avaplutaha gajendrat, prayatah praviveshakananam, tat saha sarvaischa vina tadeka menaha. At the border itself, the attitude should come in. So he immediately gets down from his Gajendra, because that is a mark of Shri. It is a mark of Lakshmi for him. It is the mark of his Adhipatyam. So he immediately sheds that so that he can get down to and be one among the devotees who are all going inside the forest. Prayataha antahkarana shuddhatma bhutva. So antakarana vishuddhihi tasya asti. Tasmat prayataha sanna saha kananam pravivesha. He entered that along with everybody, including the elephant here. He didn't leave it outside. The elephant also came inside, because you see a lot of elephants in the temples also. So here too, he brings his vahanam, but he doesn't sit on it to show his garbam or to show that he is the king of the three worlds. Tatha nasti, kintu sarvais saha padhyameva gacchati iti. Kintu vina tat ekam enaha. Whereas he left behind that papam outside the Kananam, that Papam could not enter into this Kadambhavana. Reminding him of the words that Brihaspati told him, where his mind would immediately become calm. Now, that is shown in the next shloka. Sadadarsha Phanatapatra Guptan Nakulan Atapa Tapitan Ahinam Apidrukta Charat Tarakshu Damshtra Mukha Kanduyita Lochanam Kurangi. Sadadarsha. Now, as he entered into that Kananam, at the border itself, his mind was very clear. His mind became very calm. Atikrishta manaha saha taihi nimittaihi, because his mind cleared, his eyes cleared, he became free of fear. All of these was explained in the 44th shloka. Now, after he enters, he looks at all the scenes that are there. As you are going, it will take some time to reach the temple. So he is looking at all the scenes that are there in this forest. So in a place where there is Isha Sannidhyam, or if there is a Mahatmanaha Tapasaf Prabhavam, Yatra Vartate. So if there is a Tapaf Prabhavam, or where there is an extreme, there is an intensity of tapas, then the atmosphere itself changes. There is a loss of virodhatvam, enmity between people. So he's showing that, Kavi is showing that in this shloka. Sadadarsha Phana Atapatra Guptana Nakulana Atapa Tapitan. Atapa Tapitan Ahinam Phana Atapatra Guptana Nakulana Dadarsha. He saw Nakulan, mongoose. Mongoose is Tamil Kiripillambo. It is an enemy of Sarpam. Sarpasya Nakulasya cha tatra virodhita vartate iti prasiddha eva. So Nakulana Dadarsha, he saw these mongooses which are suffering from the sun's heat. Atapa Tapitana. So once when you want to go and take the shade of something, so instead of going to the trees, here it is readily available. See, tree is somewhere tall, okay, and of course, even if you go under a tree, the mongoose is going to get its shade, that's fine. But something which is readily available is the hood of a snake. So Phana Atapatram, Phanaha eva Atapatrani. So Atapatram is Chatram, umbrella. The hoods of a snake is like an umbrella for this mongoose, and it goes and hides itself underneath those hoods. Where outside the Kananam, they would have been fighting like anything, but the moment they enter into this Kananam, the sense of virodhita is absent in their mind. So even mongoose and a serpent live together in harmony there. So Atapa Tapitana, suffering from the sun's heat, and so it hid itself underneath the umbrella of the snake's hoods. So Phana Atapatra Chatra, Phanaha eva Chatrani, Taihi Guptan, Rakshitan, Nakulan, Dadarsha. Nakulaha is Sarpa Ripu. He saw these mongooses which were hiding under the snake's hood. And then he also saw another two animals which have this enmity, is a hyena and a deer. Hyena is, it's like a dog. So here he says Tarakshu. Tarakshu, the animal he mentions, the Kavi mentions here is Tarakshu can be a Vyagra Visheshaha. It can also be a hyena. Hyena, it's more, there is a doubt even in the English, in the scientific description of its genus, whether it is a dog or it belongs to the cat family. So these are some intermediary animals here. So the Apte gives the translation of Tarakshu as hyena, but Shabdakalpadruma and other things give the translation as Vyagra Visheshaha. So it could be some jaguar, something. Okay. So what we need to understand here is Tarakshu is an animal which thinks of the deer, Kurangi, female deer, as its prey. So it will go and bite. The way the prey, the carnivorous animal acts is, the first thing it does is it holds on, and then it uses its teeth to hold on to the prey. Right? Now, this teeth is not something of a source of fear for the deer here. It is more like a place where it goes and rubs itself against when it gets an itch, it seems. So when we are itchy, sometimes if we cannot reach, so we use something to scratch ourselves, right? Our backs or against the wall, something like that. So here also, Kurangi, Kandu Ita Lochana, there is an itch near her eye. Now, where can she go and scratch and take away that itch? She goes and does it at the corner of the tarakshu, the animal's tooth. So, drutta charat tarakshu, this tarakshu vyagra visheshaha, tatra druttaha asti, garvitena, garvitarupena, saha charanna asti. Dripta charat tarakshu tasya dramshtra mukhe, in the corner of its tooth. It is quite sharp and it is very ideally suited for the deer to take away its itch. So mukha kandu ita lochana. Kandu itam, kandu is scratching. So dripta charat tarakshu damshtra mukha kandu ita lochanam kurangim api dadarsha. He also saw a deer which was kandu ita lochana, which was scratching its eyes at the corner of the tooth, damshtra mukham, of a tarakshu, of a tiger or a hyena, which was roaming around in a arrogant manner. Because it is like an animal which knows that there is nothing else that is superior to it. Right? It can, any animal that can come in front of it, it can kill. So it has that confidence. So it is moving around. But in this place, this deer does not fear this animal, and it comes and scratches its eyes there. Right? This Kandu Yanam is, even though it is a little off track, I would like to quote a shloka from Vairagya Shatakam, where this whole thing is because the person whose influence is there over that area, that person does not have any ahimsa in his mind. So because he practices ahimsa, everybody around him will naturally drop that vairi bhavaha in the presence of that Mahatma. Ahimsa pratisthayam, in Yoga Sutra, yoginaha vishayetu evameva uktam yat ahimsa pratisthayam, yoginaha ahimsa yadi pratishtha rupena tatra vartate tarhi tat sannidhau tasya yoginaha sannidhau vairatyagaha. Nobody has that vairi bhavam in front of this person who is following that yoga. And so in Vairagya Shatakam, when he explains this, how a person should be, how that yogi should be, he says, Ganga tire himagiri shilabadha padmasanasya. Ganga tire, at the banks of Ganga, himagiri shilabadha padmasanasya. Himagiri shilayam, on a stone in Himalayas, baddha padmasanasya, he should be sitting in padmasana. Brahmadhyana abhyasana vidina yoganidram gatasya. Brahmadhyanameva saha karoti tasya abhyasaha tasya vartate iti karanat saha yoganidra paryantam tasya manovrittihi jata. So his mind is completely focused in Brahman, and he has gone into the state of a dhyanam which can be equated to Yoga Nidra. This is the poet is wishing that such a thing would happen to him. When would I? Kim tair bhavyam mama sudivasaihi. When will such a sudivasam, sukritam divasam happen to me? Right? And kanduyante jaratha harinaha swangamange madiye. They should all these old deer generally do not venture out much because they are not fast enough. They will get caught very easily. So they are always with lots of fear. fearlessly, nirvishankaha, ete jaratha harinaha, these old deer should come and think that my body is a tree and kanduyante. When will they come and scratch themselves on my body? That's the wish that Bhartrihari has in Vairagya Shatakam. And this always reminds me of that state of a yogi. That's the ultimate state that he wishes for, right? So, tatsannidho vairatyagaha. Now, here, who is the yogi in this place? For such a nirvirodhita to spread around the forest, yoginamapi yogi iti parameshwaraha eva. There can be nobody else other than Parameshwara, and his Sannidhyam works in this forest, and that's why everybody is devoid of any enmity between towards each other. Right? Sahayeva yoginam api yogi asti. That sannidhautu, what to say of these two people, right? It's not an ascharya vishayam. If even for a small Mahatma, idila Kadambari'la வந்து in Brihat Kadambari, when he is describing the Jabali Maharishi, he says, Aho tapasaf prabhavaha. The greatness of tapas is such that tatsannidho vairatyagaha. Kurangi stanam pibati. Simhi stanam pibati. Kurangaha simhi stanam pibati. Kuranga shavakaha. A small young deer goes and drinks milk from the female lion, it seems. So that is how the Vairitvam is absent in all these animals. See, it is why they describe animals as having lost that Virodhita is because it is a swabhavam for them. For us, we can train our mind and we can say, okay, I have trained my mind to stop thinking about this person in a hateful manner. That comes by practice. Parantu jantunam tu praninam tu evam nasti. Tesham tu swabhavaha eva evam eva. It is their nature to follow their baser instinct, and that the Vairitvam is a ajanma prabhriti asti. So it's not something that they can do because of training. They don't have that faculty in them to train their mind. If it happens sahajataya, then you know that it is a different atmosphere that you have entered in. Right? These are all indications for Indra also to understand where he has entered. Right? So the attitude forms in the mind right from the beginning. So even in his mind, slowly that Vairatvam will go, or that Garvam, that he is the Trilokadhipati, will also, whatever little bit is there, because till now he has been traveling on Airavatam. Right? He has not got down from his Airavatam at the border of any, that has not been described for us. So we should take it that he still has that little bit of, I am the king of Triloka, all three worlds. तथा तस्य मनसि प्रायः एतत् पर्यन्तं भवेत् अधुना तदपि आगच्छत् इत्येव वर्णयति. You should take it like that. स ददर्श फणातपत्र गुप्तान् नकुलान् आतपतापितान् अहीनां. So ahinam phanam, the way that Anvaya goes, ahi is snake. So phana, the hoods of the snakes, ahinam. So Panatapatra Guptana Nakulana Atapatapiran Ahinam Apidritta Charat Tarakshu Damshtra Mukha Kandu Ida Lochanam Kurangi. Next he sees the trees and a creeper. In particular, he sees a creeper here. Salatam Kamapi Drumam Prapannam Savidhastha Anya Taru Upaguha Bhitya Pratisamhrita Pallavam Apashyat Parikrishtam kautukat kirataihi. Saha latam apashyat. In the earlier one, we saw saha dadarsha. Kurangim dadarsha, nakulana dadarsha, adunatu latam apashyat. He saw a creeper. How was this creeper? Kamapi drumam prapannam latam apashyat. Now, creepers never stand on their own. They need a support. So this lata, creeper, has taken the support of some tree. Kamapi drumam prapannam. Praptam, sharanagatam iti. We can take it like that. So it has taken the sharanam or the refuge or shelter of some tree there, and he sees that lata. Now it seems as if in his mind, he thinks that what is the reason for this Lata to go and take the Sharanam of some tree? It is a Swabhavikam. Parantu kavihi tu atra sambhavayati. He thinks that there is a reason for this. This tree is the Nayaka and Lata is the Nayika. There is an Anya Nayaka on the side. There is another tree. There are many trees on the side. So Savidha Samipa. Samipe Tishtanti Anye Taravaha. So Savidhastha Anya Taru Upagoha Bhayat. This Lata, she wants the support of only this tree. She does not want the support of any other tree. So it seems as if she is afraid of an alinganam, an embracement from other trees which are nearby. So Savidhastha Anyataru Upaguha Bhitya Samipastaha Anyataravaha api Alingam Kuryuhu iti Bhitya Bhayena. It's not a real bhayam that she has, the Lata. It is a poetic fancy here. So it is a hetu utpreksha there. And because Iva or anything is not present, you take it as Gamyam. So Saha Kamapi Drumam Prapannam Latam. Why has that Lata taken the refuge of another tree? It is because it is afraid of other trees coming and taking her support. Not her support or embracing her in a forceful manner, which she probably does not like. Okay, let's take it. You'll have to bring in, it gives us the image of an Nayika Bhavam along with other Kamuka who want to, who also wish to have a relationship with this woman. Tatha Atra, it is an image that gives us in our mind. Now, the second, he also sees her closing her leaves together, sankuchitam, or her entire body is pratisamhrita pallavam. Pallavam is all the sprouts which have not fully come out, but it has closed itself here. Two ways to think about it. One is, so let me explain how it is and then we can think about how it is. So, kirataihi kautukat parikrishtam Pratisamhrita Pallavam apashyat. He saw that that creeper had contracted its leaves. Pratisamhrita Pallavam. Ya Lata Swa Pallavani Pratisamhritani Sankuchitani Pallavani Yasyaha. So Tadrasha Latam apashyat. Even though she was being pulled by the hunters. Kirataihi Kautukat. Kautukam is out of curiosity because the Lata, the creeper, has attached itself to the tree in such a strong manner that the hunters are so surprised to see this, and out of curiosity they want to see whether this Lata can be pulled out or not. So they are trying to pull it. So Kirataihi, by the hunters, Parikrishtam api Kautukat, out of curiosity, even when being pulled out, Parikrishtam api, she closes her self in such a manner. Pallavam, a creeper is made up of a lot of pallavams, lot of leaves, right? So she just closes herself so hard and attaches herself to the tree so much. Imagine a Dushta Nayaka, say someone who just pulls the Nayika, like the Dushasana, who drags Draupadi, and she tries to hold on to everything that she sees there because she is not supposed to be in the sabha at that point of time. Rajaswalasa iti karanat tatra guroho, she should not come in the presence of the elders. So she tries to hold on to a pillar or something or the other as she is being dragged by Dushasana. It is that image that comes to our mind here. Right? Pratisamhrita Pallava. And it's a natural thing. Yada Dushtaihi Akrishta Kachit Abala, she will immediately contract her hands and legs to make her body small. Right? It's an instinctive reaction for women. So here too, when you try to catch a Lata, it goes and attaches itself even more strongly to the tree with using its other parts. Okay, and or you can say when you pull it, it just collapses into itself, right? It seems as if it is trying to guard itself, like how a woman would guard herself with her hands and legs scrunched up together, right? That idea, one thing. Another thing is, இப்போ தொட்டா சுணுங்கிம்போ தமிழ்ல ஒரு தொட்டா சுணுங்கினா தொட்ட உடனே அந்த இலையெல்லாம் அப்படியே மூடிக்கும் இல்லையா, அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு ஒரு ட்ரீ இங்க அந்த யூ கேன் இமேஜின் தட் இட் இஸ் லைக் திஸ் டச் மீ நாட். If you have seen those, the moment you touch the leaves it will immediately come close together. So tatha prayaha, this is like a creeper of that sort, and so the moment this hunters touch that creeper, it just closes itself. Pratisamhrita pallavam apashyat. Salatam kamapi drumam prapannam savidhastha anyataru upaguha bhitya pratisamhrita pallavam apashyat parikrishtam kautukat kirataihi. Now the alankara here is called samasukti alankara. The first one is upaguha bhitya. Out of fear of being embraced by the other nearby trees is a sambhavana. The hetu is being fancied here is being imagined by the poet. So the atra hetu utpreksha vartate. Tadanantaram, the idea of, a nayika, a nayaka, and then you have Anya Kamuka. There is a Dushta Kamuka also who tries to pull her. All these Vyavaharam gives us this idea comes to our mind immediately, even though it is not the Prakritam. So Prakrite tu tatra Prakriti Varnanameva Vartate. It is a description of a creeper on a tree, and other trees are there nearby. There is a hunter who is pulling. This is just the description which is there contextually. But it gives rise to another picture in our mind, and that is your aprakritam. So samasukti parispurtihi prakrite aprakritasya cha. When there is a spurti in the mind of something non-contextual, Indra does not want to see a nayika and a nayaka, but it is a poet who wants to give that mind, image in your mind. So then the alankara is called samasukti. The next one is Upakritya chaladruma pravalan kadalihi ikshulata mrinalischa namata shatasho hares samaksham na vishehe vanakunjaran surebha. This is a very lovely image of Indra along with Airavata, and there are a lot of wild elephants which are coming there. Okay, I have given two anvayas here, all because of one particular word that this poet has used, namataha. This namataha can be a shashti vibhakti ekavachanam, namanna namataha iti. If it is shashti ekavachanam, then it is a adjective for hari. If it is dvitiya bahuvachanam, naman namanto namantaha, namantam namanto namataha, then it is an adjective for vanakunjaraha. Okay, so that is why we have two different images in this shloka. I'll just give you how what it could be, right? So imagine now it is Swargat Trilokadhipaha Atra Agataha, right? Swayam Agataha. Now he has come to this forest, a lot of along with his elephant. Elephant is here, it is like let's say it is one of the Lokapala, right? Diggaja. There are cadders even in animals. Diggajam is of the highest order, and it is present in Swargam. Even among the Diggajas, Indra's Gaja is even more special, because there are 8 Lokapalas, and among them you have or Dasha Lokapala Dikpalakaha or Ashtadikpalakaha, whatever you may take it as. Indra has a much higher position than the others, because he is the Trilokadhipati. He is sitting on the Simhasanam in Swarga. And his Vahanam, Airavata, has a higher position when compared to the other Diggajas. Right? So they have come for a visit to Kadambavanam. Now imagine the big kolahalam that should happen in the forest here. So all of the wild elephants have come here to have a darshan of this Diggajam and the Trilokadipati. So both have a high position here for them, and so they've all come here to do namaskaram, or they have all come to see. Now, the idea here is Airavatam. Airavatam is in a higher position. Now, even Airavata, just as how other animals have left out that Vairi Bhavam in their mind, they do not have that Virodhita in their mind. In the same manner, Indra also is calm. He does not have that Garva in his mind, so he has got down from the elephant. This elephant also does not have that Garvam in his mind. He does not have the Garvam that he is a Diggaja or that he is the Vahanam of Indra. Tatha tasya manasi api garvaha nasti iti darshayitum atra shlokaha. So not only the animals that are there in that forest, but even people who enter, their mind also becomes calm and the attitude is very different. So when these wild elephants come, not tamed, not those which are found in temples, in the different temples in South India, you find elephants there. Tathapi nasti. These are just wild animals which are roaming around in the forest. So vana kunjaraha. When they come, Surebaha, the difference you should see here, Suranam Ibaha, Devanam Ibaha Asav. Right? Etetu Vanakunjaraha. These are all elephants which are just roaming around in the forest here. Tathapi, even though Yadyapi Saha Surebhaha, Yadyapi Ete Vanakunjaraha, तथापि ऐरावतः न विषेहे इत्युक्ते न पराभवरूपेण तान् न पश्यति. He does not look at them with a view to humiliate them. He does not humiliate them. Right? Na vishehe saha dhatoho vi upasargaha. It means he does not defeat them or he does not humiliate these hundreds of wild elephants that come there. Shatashaha vanakunjarane. The hundreds and hundreds of wild elephants that come there, Surebhaha, this divine elephant, did not humiliate them at all. That too in front of Harehe Samaksham. Even though sometimes, you don't realize that this is the same person unless you see them along with that. I think in Kavi Prakasham we have this Sampattiya, Sahayukti or something like that is there, where you identify a person because of certain words that are there or certain identification marks if they are there with him. If those identification marks are absent, then it is not possible. Sahacharyam. So this Sahacharyam is something like Rama Lakshmano. When you say Rama Lakshmano, it means Dasharatha Putraha Ramaha Gacchati Tatrayati, because of the presence of Lakshmana there. Correct? So if I say Ramarjuna, then it means it is Parashurama and Kartavirya Arjuna. Okay, so Samyogo Viprayogascha Sahacharyam Virodhita. These are the reason, these are the clues with which you find out from a shloka what the meaning of the word is. What the abhida meaning of that word is. Samyogaha is something like Sashanka Chakro Harihi. If he has Shanka and Chakram, you recognize him as Hari. If I say one who has Airavata Sahitaha Harihi, then it is Indra. So that's why here Harehe Samaksham is not Vishnu, Kintu Surebhaha api asti atra. Harihi iti contextually we also take it as Prakritam. Sandarbha is another clue for us to find out what the meaning of Hari is. So Harehe Samaksham ityukte atra Indrasya Samaksham, in front of Indra. Even to recognize Surebha, Sura Ibhaha need not necessarily mean only Airavata here. It can mean any other animal, any other Diggaja, right? But Surebhaha along with Hari can only mean Indra and Airavata. Now Airavata has இன்னும் மௌசு ஜாஸ்தியும் there is more of arrogance to that Airavatam if he is traveling along with Indra. If he is separated from Indra, he may not have so much of weightage, so much of prestige in his mind. But then if he is in front of Hari, then he can show even more of that garvam, right? Even though he was in front of Hari, which is Indra, even though he was in front of Trilokadhipati, still Surebha, this elephant, did not humiliate the wild elephants. Now, this part is clear. Now, the part which is a confusion is, or two interpretation can come. I don't want to call it as confusion, because two possible interpretations are, where does this Namataha go? This Namataha can go to Vanakunjaraha. Okay, if it goes to the Vanakunjara, then it's very simple. In the sense, all these wild elephants, they want to come and see this Airavatam, and they want to see Indra too. So they have brought a lot of gifts for them. Chaladruma Pravalana Kadalihi Ikshulataha Mrinalinihi cha Upahritya Dattva. After giving it as an upahara rupena, upayana rupena, tatra dattva ityartaha. Upasargasya hri dhatoho tatra upaharaha itye danam ityeva artha. Okay, so chaladruma pravalana. Chaladruma is a type of tree. It can also mean those trees which are moving, and the leaves that are easily can be plucked from those trees which are moving. Chalad druma pravalan ityapi. We can take it like that also, or you can take it as a particular tree, because this chaladruma tree has a lot of kantakam, thorns. So, but to take only those leaves probably is easier, right? So they have taken only those small sprouts that have come from these chaladruma, this type of tree. And then kadalihi, bananas, either the whole plant or just the phalani. Ikshulataha, tender sugarcane. Mrinalinihi, tender stalks of lotuses. These are all the gifts that you take for an elephant, because elephant eats all these things, right? So Vanakunjaraha Chaladruma Pravalana Kadali Falani Atava Kadalihi Eva Ikshulataha Mrinalinihi cha Upahritya Dattva Namataha Vanakunjarana Dattva Namaskaram Kurvanti Ete Vanakunjaraha Tan Vanakunjarana Surebaha Navishehe. He did not humiliate them. Okay. Now, the other way to interpret it is, if you take it as an adjective to Hari, if you take it as an adjective to Indra, Indra is a Namra Bhava, is in a very Namataha. Namanneva Saha Gacchati. Evam Aham Trilokadipatihi. Aham Evam Eva Gacchami iti. His nose is not in the air as he walks. He is going with a very humble attitude. Namra Bhavena. Namanna Gacchati Saha. Tari Namataha Harehe Samaksham. Yadi Harireva Tatra Namati. Tari Mamatu Garvaha Eva Tatra Prasaktireva Nasti iti. Airavatasya Manasi Bhavedeva. If Indra himself is bowing down, then how can Airavata have that Garva Bhavam in his mind? He cannot. So, Namataha Harehe Samaksham Surebhaha Vanakunjarana Navishehe. He did not humiliate these elephants in front of Hari, who was bowing down, who had also given. Now, the first part, how would it go? Usually, when you have a lyap or a ktva pratyam, it expects another, it has to be followed by another dhatu, another kriyapadam. Here that kriyapadam is namataha. Okay, so that namataha harihi, only Indra who is bowing down should bring something here. What is he? Why is he bringing all of these pravala, kadalihi, ikshulata, ityadikam to saha kimartham anayati, saha kasmai dadati iti chete. He gives it to the elephant. Imagine that there are some trees here. There is some forest இருந்ததுன்னா என்ன வேணாலும் தோப்பு இருக்கலாம் இல்லையோ, என்ன மரம் வேணாலும் இருக்கலாம் இல்லையோ. There can be any different types of trees there. Probably there is a banana tree on one side, there is a chaladruma on another side, sugar canes are present, there is a pond there. So as he walks, Poor thing, this elephant has traveled with him everywhere, all over the three worlds, going to every Shivalayam. And so, Yana Pasina, அதுக்கு சாப்பாடு குடுக்கறச்சே பார்க்கணும். The elephant's hunger is so high. If you have an opportunity to go to the temples and see, you should definitely see how they make it into a huge ball and put it inside the mouth of that elephant. So the hunger of that elephant is huge, so he has to keep feeding it constantly. So Indra, as he walks inside the forest towards to seeing Sundareshwara, he is also taking care of his Vahanam here, and he is whatever he can lay hands on, he takes all those and gives it to this elephant. See, the situation is Swayam Indraha. It is Indra is giving him food itself is a huge thing here, and those elephants are watching this act that Indra is giving. Swayam Swargadhipatihi eva saha tatra tatra taruprarohana hritva airavatam dattva saha gacchati. It is a source of jealousy for these vanagajaha, right? So they will look at this. But even then, even though it is Trilokadhipati who is giving him food, Airavata does not feel that garva. One is Hari himself, that is Indra himself, is doing namaskaram here, and he is going in a very humble manner. So Airavatam has no place to be in a garvam fashion here. And another thing is Tatsannidhau Vairatyagaha. Parameshwarasya sannidhau tu sarveshamapi virodhita tatra na bhavedeva, and manasi that attitude has already set in. So that namra bhavam should already come in when you enter that place. That's why I started off with that Subramanya Bhujanga. These are all small lessons to show us how we should behave in our life. At any point, it's also another thing. See, they may be wild elephants which are roaming around in the forest. He may have been in the heaven, right, in Sarga, and carrying Trilokadhipati, but still there is a point when he has to come to these people. Tatha bhavet sarvasyapi. We have to remember that in our mind, that this is possible in everybody's life, right? Upahritya chaladruma pravalana kadali rikshulata mridalinischa namataha shatasho hares samaksham na vishehe vanakunjaran surebhaha. The next one is Pathi vikshitavadbihi. You need guidance here. Even if you go into a huge temple, sometimes you will get lost. Nowadays, the temples have nice compound walls. You know that this is the area of that temple. But sometimes you don't know where this Sannidhi is. Where is the Pullayar Sannidhi or this Swami Sannidhi? If you go into Tiruvanjuri, for example, you will see this Pullayar Sannidhi, Ganesha's Sannidhi in front first. You will go there, and then to see Ambal or Swami, you will have to take a detour and go to another prakaram and see. So sometimes you need guidance. So if there is a localite, they will tell you where to go and how to go. The same way here also, Indra has a lot of local guides for him. Pathi vikshitavadbihi adarena pramathaihi Pashupataihi Maharishibhischa Savidham Tapasa Atinirmalaha Ayam Samupaniyata Sundareshwarasya. Sundareshwarasya Savidham Samupaniyata, he was taken. Upaniyata ityukte Anitaha Asit. It's in Karmani Prayoga. So Samupaniyata, he was being taken to the vicinity, Savidham, of Sundareshwara. Who is this person? Tapasa atinirmalaha ayam. Vratena ati pavitraha saha iti jnatva eva. Otherwise, Pramathaganas will not feature in his eyes at all. Nobody, he will not be able to see these Pramathaganas unless he was also atinirmalaha and he had been following those penance and vrata. Right? Vratadarsham saha acharati. Right? What vrata vedam. Yeah, Vrata Vedam. Whatever Vratam he knew, he would follow that. So Pati Pathi vikshitavadbihi pramathaihi pashupataihi maharshibhischa adarena samupaniyata. He was taken to the presence of Shiva by the attendants of Shiva, pramatha ganaihi, pashupataihi ityukte pashupati bhaktaihi, maharshibhihi cha, pathi vikshitavadbihi. On the way, those who saw him, Vikshitavan, Vikshitavanto, Vikshitavantah. It's Tavatu Pratyaya here. So Vikshitavadbihi, Pramathaihi, Drishtaihi, Pramataihi, Pashupataihi, Maharshibhischa, Tapasa, Atinirmalaha Ayam, Samupaniyata. He was taken to the presence of Sundareshwara. Very simple shloka here. So Pathi, Vikshitavadbihi, Adarena, Pramathaihi, Pashupataihi, Maharshibhischa, Savidham tapasa ati nirmalaha ayam samupaniyata sundareshwarasya. The next shloka is where he sees Parameshwara, avichintyam, adrishtam, ashrutam cha, trishu lokeshu api divyam lingam etate. Vikachair nayanotpalaihi bidaujaha vichakara prathama upahara hetoho. Avichintyam. Trishu lokeshu api, in all three worlds, this was a divya lingam, etat divyam lingam. Trishu lokeshu api, in all three worlds, avichintyam, it was something that could not, it was something that could not be comprehended, incomprehensible. Vichintyam ityukte tarkyam. Katham evam swayambhulingam atra bhavet ityeva chintana chintayitum api ashakyam avichintyam. It's very difficult to even comprehend that such a divya lingam could exist. Adrishtam, it was not seen anywhere else. Ashrutam, it was not heard about anywhere at all. Tadrisham etat divya lingam. So what is that shloka that we had before? Slowly, Esha Katha Swargaloke api pratita asit iti. Right? Even in the Swargalokam, among the devas, only those who have that sukritam, that bhagyam to worship Shiva will know about this place. Not everybody will know about it. Siddhaha, Prayaha, because they are all Maharshis. Saptarishi would know about it. As and when the time is needed, that is when Swargavasi api nyasyanti. Otherwise, they are not going to know about all these things. Otherwise, Indra would have known about it and he would have come earlier. He would not have roamed around the entire three worlds to all the Shivalayas and Tirthasthanani. Right? He would have come here before itself. But the greatness of this will come to even the devas only at that particular time. Even Daivamatra Pramana. Daivam acts at that point also, even for devas. Right? Avichintyam, adrishtam, ashrutam, something that has not been heard at all. Anakarnitam. In other words, it is atindriyam. It is something that you cannot if you go and search for it, you will not be able to see it. Sometimes you will even go to the the entrance of the temple. You won't be able to go inside the temple and see the Swami. You may not even see him your entire life. It all requires a specific punya vishesha for you to get there and see. So tadrisham atindriyam, it does not come within the range of perception. It's because of human effort, this cannot be achieved. It needs another divine push for you to do it at that point of time. So ashrutam, I think I'll have to finish this shloka next class because this needs a lot more of explanation here. So vikachaihi nayanotpalaihi bidaujaha vichakara prathama upahara hetoho. So the first gift that you give to the Lord is some flowers, right? So instead of flowers, he opened his eyes and his eyes were like lotuses here. Vikachaihi prapullaihi nayana utpalaihi. Nayanani eva utpalani atra. His eyes are like flowers. Indra offers his own eyesight. That is, he saw with all of his 1,000 eyes. He saw the Lord here, and those eyes became the prathama upahara hetoho. As a prathama, he offered his eyes as the first offering. to that divine lingam. Vichakara here is actually a litlakara for kirati. Kirati ityukte vikirati prasarayati iti. So drishtim prasarayati ityarthe uktam atra. So he distributes his eyesight. Nayanotpalaihi prathama upahara hetoho nayanotpalaihi bidaujaha vichakara. Okay, I need to think about that a little bit more, because with his eyes he spread, I don't know how that will work. I will explain the shloka again next class. So if you have any questions, you can raise your hands. Namaste Mahodaya. Shankari Mahodaya. Yeah.
Namaste Mahodaya.
Namaste. Yeah.
Madurai मध्ये समान अनुभवः अस्ति. पुनः प्रदक्षिणं कुर्वन्तः भवामः. कुत्र वह्निविनायकः अस्ति एवं बहुवारं गतं चेदपि पौनःपुन्येन भ्रमणमेव तत्र बृहत् इति कारणेन मधुरै जनाः सम्यक् जानन्ति.
You need a local guide to tell you where that sannidhi is.
किन्तु सन्तोषेणेव भ्रमामः
तत्तु अस्ति एव.
पुनः अत्र उपकृत्य एतद् गजाः वन्यगजाः मम मनसि एवम् अस्ति. किमित्युक्ते अन्य वनगजाः इन्द्रस्य गजाय उपहारम् आनयन्ति इति चेत् तत्र सम्यक् भवति इति. यतः इन्द्रः किमर्थं गजानां कृते
न गजानां कृते न, ऐरावतस्य कृते एव सः ददाति. என்ன ஒரு பெட் இருந்தா நம்ம கொடுக்க மாட்டோமா? போர்ச்சே வழியில எதையாவது பறிச்சு பறிச்சு கொடுத்துட்டு இருக்க மாட்டோமா மாட்டுக்கு?
तदेव. किन्तु अहं किं चिन्तयामि, एषः आगच्छति इति अन्यगजाः एवम् आनीय यच्छन्ति. तथापि एषः ऐरावतः गर्वेण एवं न पश्यति तान् इति.
That is there. That is the first explanation. I said the second one is this way also you can.
यत्र शतशः गजाः इति वा
गजाः एव.
अस्तु. शतवारं नमति वा इति.
शतधा इत्यस्ति खलु. सो शतवारं कथं नमति इति I don't think that would be there.
सामान्यतया शत नमस्कारः एवं वदन्ति किल, शतकोटि नमस्काराः इत्यादि.
तथा वा? न, I don't think that would be. I would put it more with the vanagaja kunjarane.
अस्तु तर्हि तदेव सः एव मम संशयः अस्ति.
ओके. धन्यवादः. சொல்லுங்க.
Yes madam. கண்டூயான itching sensation இல்லையா?
கண்டூயனித். ஆமா.
அதே மாதிரி சல துருவக அப்படினா சலதலக அரச மரம் இல்லையா அது?
அரச மரமா? நான் கேள்விப்பட்டது இல்லையே.
ஆமா, சலதலக அமரகோஷால இருக்கு. சலதலக தலம் சலதலக அதோட இலை அசைஞ்சிட்டே இருக்கும், அதனால அது ரிஸ்கால் சலதலக அரச மரம்.
சரி, ஓகே. அப்படி இருந்தா நல்லதுதான்.
அப்புறம் இன்னொரு டவுட் மேம். ஆமா, இன்னொன்னு, நீப வனத்துல வைரத்துவமே இல்ல, அப்படி இருக்கிற பட்சத்துல அந்த லதா ஏன் பக்கத்துல இருக்க மரம் தன்னை அபகரிச்சுக்குமோன்னு பயப்படணும்? அந்த பயம் ஏன் வந்தது? அது என்ன விசேஷம் இருக்கு?
கரெக்டான கேள்விதான், ஆனா அதுக்கு எனக்கு பதில் இல்ல. பட் இட் இஸ் ஜஸ்ட் a poet's இது, அவ்வளவுதான்.
இந்த லதாவோட கற்புத்துவத்தை காட்டுறதுக்காக அப்படி சொல்லி இருக்காரோ?
இருக்கலாம், அதுவும் இருக்கலாம், அதோட ஒரு இது. ஆனா விளையாட்டா பீத்தியா ஈவன்னு போட்டிருக்கு, அவ்வளவு கெட்டியா புடிச்சுக்கணுங்கிற அவசியம் இல்லையே. unless there is that பயம் in the mind, why should it go and grab so hard அப்படின்னு போயட்டோட ஒரு ஃபேன்சி தான் அந்த இடத்துல. அப்படின்னு எடுத்துப்போம்.
அதற்கான காரணம் எதுக்காக அதை அப்படி சொல்றாரு?
இப்படி ஒன்னும் நான் யோசிச்சு பார்க்கல, எனக்கு ஒன்னும் தெரியல. இட்ஸ் யூஸ்வலா அந்த மாதிரிதான் வர்ணிக்கிறது. அத ஒரு ஒரு லதை வந்து ஒரு இத பிடிச்சுட்டு இருக்கறச்சு அது ஒண்டிதானே உங்களுக்கு காரணம். அந்த நாயக பாவத்தை எடுத்துட்டு வரணுங்கிறதுக்காக அவர் சொல்றாரு ஒரு போயிட்டு. அதுல ரொம்ப நீங்க வந்து இது பண்ண வேண்டாம். சில இதெல்லாம் நம்ம வந்து யோசிச்சோம்,
கொஞ்சம் நெகட்டிவா இருக்கிற மாதிரி இருக்கு. அதனால
கரெக்ட் தான். ஆமா, அதுவும் இருக்கு. அபயப்பிரதானம்னு எடுத்துக்கலாம், அதுவும் பண்ணலாம் இல்லையா? அபயப்பிரதானம் எடுத்துக்கலாம்.
லாஸ்ட் கிளாஸ்ல அந்த இஷ்டுச் பிரத்யம் பத்தி சொன்னீங்க இல்லையா மேடம்? நிராகரிஷ்ணுஹு, சரி, பிரத்யம் பத்தி கொஞ்சம் சொல்ல முடியும்?
இஷ்ணுச்சுங்கிறது வந்து இதுதானே உங்களுக்கு வந்து அந்த தாட்சில்யம்னு வர்றது தானே எப்பவுமே. ஜேதும் ஷீலம் அஸ்ய இதி அந்த கேரக்டர் இருக்குங்கிறதுனால ஜிஷ்ணு அப்படின்னு சொல்றோம். சோ அதாவது ஜெயி அப்படின்னு சொல்றதுக்கு பதிலா இப்ப ஜெயதி அப்படிங்கறச்சு he wins, he may win one time, he may win twice, அந்த மாதிரி it can be like that. But when I say ஜெயிஷ்ணு பிரபதான்விதஹான்னு பகவான சொல்றச்சு, he is ever victorious, always, at every point when he gets into battle he wins. His nature is to win, he cannot be otherwise அப்படின்னு அர்த்தம்.
Okay,
சரி, ஓகே,
thank you.
Okay. Namaste. Bidaujaha is actually Indra.
Plural as the
No, it's not plural, it is singular. Bidaujas iti padam tatra. Actually there is a little swarasyam there. Bidam itukte sure, vit is deveshti vyapnoti iti vit. Okay, so yasya ojaha is balam, yasya balam sarvatra vyapnoti saha bidaujaha bidaujasau bidaujasah iti sakarantam tatra. So one nachiketaha, yes, chandramaha ityadikam.
Chandramaha, thank you.
Yeah, vedhaha. So here actually he has a strength which is sarvavyapi. So he has gone everywhere, yet he has not seen such a lingam, he has not heard of such a lingam. So the word bidaujas also has a very significant thing here.
क्षम्यतां पनातपत्र गुप्तान् नकुलान् अस्ति किल अन्य श्लोक, एवमेव शृङ्गगिरिं कथां वदन्ति किल आदिशङ्कराचार्याः यदा तत्र आगतवन्तः, तत्र पना गर्भवती मण्डूकी आसीत्, तस्याम्
उपरि तत्र छत्ररूपेण आसीत् इति सत्यं। तदर्थमेव तत्र मठस्थापनम् अकरोत् इति अस्ति।
स्मरणं प्रति आगतं, तदेव वदामि। धन्यवादः।
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Vikachaihi. Okay, vikachaihi is prapullaihi, pullam. That which is full bloomed is called vikacha. So with eyes bloomed really well. I'll again explain it next class. Okay. नमस्सुन्दरनाथाय तस्मै हालास्य वासिने चतुष्षष्टिविधा लीला येनाकारि भुवस्थले।